say please? Oh, thank you. All right, no problem. I'll wait for law enforcement, okay? Because none of you are law enforcement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 officers here, and none of you have law enforcement capabilities. So I don't understand you obviously don't know the law. You don't know the difference between public and private property. It's ridiculous.
Welcome to Cop Interaction Breakdown, where we analyze police encounters to determine what was done right, what was done wrong, and what rights citizens have in each situation. This video was made with support from Sean Paul Reyes of Long Island Audit, so be sure to check the description below for a link to his channel and show him the support he deserves before we begin our analysis. 7 armed security officers surrounded a man simply for holding a camera and demanded that he produce identification, but the real question is, did they actually have the authority to do that? Today, an independent journalist visited the headquarters of the National Reconnaissance Office in Chantilly, Virginia, to exercise his First Amendment right to film in a publicly accessible area. What started as a simple act of filming quickly turned into a tense confrontation with heavily armed security personnel who claimed the area was private property and demanded that he provide identification. So the real question is, were they enforcing the law or simply making up their own rules? Let's take a look at what happens next.
Who are you, sir?
What can we do? Are you videotaping?
Who are you, sir?
Facility? I'm an officer. I work here.
Do you work for the government or do you work for a private security company?
Is there a reason why you're asking these questions?
Well, yes, because you came up to me and you asked me if I needed anything, so I would like your name and what security company you work for.
The reason why we're asking you is because you...
Hey, sir, can I get your name and what security company you work for? Hi, sir, how are you? Sure, no problem. Take your time.
You do realize you've already crossed the fence line, right?
Isn't that the fence right there behind me?
Fence starts right over there, sir. You can record anything you want outside in the sidewalk.
This is publicly accessible. There is no fence line.
There's actually a sign in front.
Right. There's a sign.
Past the fence line. Babe, give us a second. We'll get you some help. Okay?
Right. I'm sorry, sir. Who are you and what security company do you work for? You guys are armed to the teeth, huh? Do you guys receive a lot of threats on this facility or anything like that? Is that why you need to be armed? In such a manner? I'm all for it. Second Amendment, baby. I just don't understand. The secure area is over here. I'm not in a secure area. Do you have a supervisor I can speak to?
So so you're aware, you are actually trespassing because this is private property.
This is public property. How is it private?
Actually, our property begins within that fence line right there.
What fence line?
You see that fence right there, the black fence right there?
Yeah, I see the fence.
And you see the other fence?
But it's open to the public. There's nothing that says that this is restricted area of anything. The restricted area is behind the fence. That's the way it says.
I'm just letting you know.
But that's the way the sign reads, sir. The sign says that you cannot enter into the restricted area. There's nothing preventing anybody from... But how is this a restricted area? If it's open, how did I get in here if it's restricted? You're not doing a good job of restricting it if I got here, right?
Well, that's what we're here.
But how did I get into a restricted area without hopping a fence or doing anything like that? Are you law enforcement?
We're security, of course.
You're security? Okay. Maybe we could talk to law enforcement?
Yeah. They're on their way. We can talk to them.
Okay, great.
Just make sure you stay awake because there's a lot of traffic right here.
Right. I don't want to get in anybody's way, okay. So I don't want to stand in front of your car.
So what's the purpose of it? You don't mind me asking?
Oh, no, I don't mind. So I'm an independent journalist. I'm just working on the story on the National Reconnaissance Center here.
Okay.
And I wanted to get some pictures and video for B-roll footage and just take a look in the publicly accessible areas. You know, you have a visitor sign right there. Again, it says all visitors use right lane.
Right.
I mean, you have these fences up for a reason to keep people out of the restricted area part. You know, you have a...
Just watch out.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, it just seems wild to me that you have fences and then you also have where people can't enter in. Gates. I'm not past the fence. I'm not.
They're all monitored, so that's why we're here, because we were able to see it.
Okay, yeah. So you have cameras here too.
Absolutely.
Right. So what's wrong with one more? It's just one more camera. I'm not a threat to anybody here. I'm just getting some B-roll footage of a taxpayer-funded facility. This is a government facility, correct?
It is a B-roll facility.
Yeah, so my tax dollars goes to support this facility. So I just wanted to come out and take a look. So we have more security over here. So they are private security, so they don't got to give you guys benefits and stuff. Is that how that works?
I don't want to talk about my situation.
Right. I mean, you wanted to come here and talk about my situation. I'm just. But you're private. I just want to you're private security, right?
Make sure, you're just walking up here.
Right. I'm not doing anything insane, am I? I'm just taking pictures. I'm not trying to hop the fence or anything like that. But you do work. You don't work for the government directly, correct? You're a security company that's contracted by the government. Just want transparency. So like I said, I'm getting some B-roll footage, and then, I publish a story. Right. Look how secure this facility is, ladies and gentlemen. Gates, cameras, barbed wire on the top of the fence. I really don't understand. This is not a secure area here. It's open to the public. Hey, how are you, sir? Your name's Sergeant Smith?
Yes, Sergeant Smith.
Are you a law enforcement officer?
I'm Sergeant Smith. Yeah, I work here. I'm an officer here.
You're a security officer.
Here.
Here. This is public property.
No, this is not public property.
How is it not public property? It's open to the public. This is a secure area here behind me, and I'm not in the secure area, Sergeant.
You got guidelines right here. You are in secure area.
But there's nothing that labels this a secure area. There's nothing that says this, you are now entering a restricted area. There's no signage, nothing. There are signage that say you can't go past the gate here. I've seen people walk up and down this area here all day.
When did you see people walking down this area all day?
Well, I've been here all day.
You have not seen people walking down this area all day?
Yes, I did. I saw a woman and a child walk right through here. Yes, I have. People are walking around. I guess they're getting exercise. Are the employees getting exercise?
You have not seen a woman and child walk in this area?
I did.
That's a false statement.
That's not a false statement. You're calling me a liar.
A woman or child walk in this area today.
I did. I saw one over here. Right over here.
What are you talking about, sir? You're talking about right here where you stand. Okay?
I'm not saying right where I'm standing, no, but there's nothing preventing anybody from going this way. What's the issue? Am I getting national security secrets by standing in a publicly accessible area? I'm not in a restricted area, am I?
I'm not going to answer that question. I'm telling you where you are. You are trespassing.
But you're not law enforcement.
This is not
1, 2, 3, 4. Is there a reason why the facility needs so much security?
I'm not answering that question.
Why is that, Sergeant?
What did you not understand? I'm not answering any more of your questions.
But why is that? Why don't you want to answer any questions?
What are you not understanding?
Do you not have
I'm not
transparency?
answering any more of your questions. I'm not going back and forth with you.
Right. Well, then could we get law enforcement so I can speak to somebody who actually has
Again,
knowledge
you're
of the
asking
law?
me questions. I'm done answering your questions.
Or hopefully they have knowledge of the law.
Okay? So I'm done answering your questions.
We have someone in route who's going to answer all your questions.
What's I'm doing?
This is publicly accessible area. I got here by... If this is a restricted area, it's a very bad restricted area.
Private property.
Private. Who owns it?
The government.
The government. So the government's private? Sounds silly to me that the government would be a private entity. The government is paid for by taxpayers, like all of us, right? Shouldn't we have the right to be on public property that's not restricted?
Someone will come out and answer the question. We're done answering your questions.
Right, I'm just talking. You don't have to. You have the right. You have the right to remain silent.
When you're asking why and so forth, you're asking questions.
Right.
We're done answering questions.
We have another officer here. Hey, how are you, sir? Yeah, just because you came up behind me, so I just wanted to make sure I got you. You were called to the location? Okay, not a problem. One, two, three, four, five. Is this all necessary for a man with a camera? I know you don't want to answer any questions, Sergeant. It's a rhetorical one then. You don't have to answer, but I'm just a man with a camera taking pictures. I don't understand. I'm not a threat to any of you. I'm a professional athlete. Hey, what's up, man? How are you? I'm taking pictures, man. I'm taking pictures. I'm not. I'm being very cordial. You know me. I'm being cordial.
Don't give them a hard time, man.
No, I'm not giving anybody a hard time, man.
Come on now.
I'm taking pictures in public.
Man,
is that a problem?
on, man. You know, those are good people.
If you know who I am, I'm not bothering anybody.
I know that, but come on now. You know, he's a well-followed on YouTube. Well-followed. He give a training to police department too. Come down to a First Amendment. So it's well-done. Yeah, so don't trip.
I don't want to.
That's why he do. Go to, you know, police department, you know, government buildings, take pictures, video.
Do I ever get angry with anybody?
No, you don't.
Do I cause a problem? No, I don't.
To anybody. That's for fun.
Well, if they gave their name to me, I'd give it to them. And now you know. Sean.
So you gotta just,
Nice to meet you, everybody. Now that my friend here. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm not being disrespectful to anybody. I never am. I treat people with the same respect that they give me. I just want to wait for law enforcement so I can understand how this is a restricted area, not open to the public. Yeah, somewhat. Yeah, he said what I did, you know. I just take pictures and video in public spaces, hold government accountable, and then, you know, do some training with law enforcement for de-escalation, First Amendment rights, things of that nature. Hi, sir. How are you? I'm doing well, sir. Are you a law enforcement officer, sir?
I'm the duty officer for the day, so.
Does that mean you're a law enforcement officer? I'm sorry.
I'm the duty officer for the day, so that's all you need to know.
That's all I need to know.
Yes,
okay.
sir.
I just wanted to know. Are you a law enforcement officer? Okay. I don't understand what's going on. I'm just taking some pictures and video.
You're on private property, sir.
It's private. Who owns it?
This is private property, sir.
Who owns it?
So you're on private property once you come off the sidewalk out there.
But who owns this property?
So we're going to be taking care of that here in just a minute.
But who owns the property? There's no sign saying that.
Any ID on you, sir?
Well, you're not a law enforcement officer, so I don't have to give you anything. I wouldn't have to give a law enforcement officer my ID. I'm not breaking any laws.
You're on private property.
No, this is government-owned property, which is open to the public.
It's private property, sir.
So if it's a private, do you own it?
I'm not going to sit here and argue with you.
I don't want to argue with you either. Do you own the property?
So if you could just please step back, sir. Please step back that way. Yeah.
Step back which way?
Just start walking back that way.
Is law enforcement coming? Because I would like them to clear up your misconceptions of what's private and public property.
They're on their way, sir.
They're on their way?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll wait for them over here. No problem.
Well,
There's no need. Yeah, I'm gonna wait for them. I said I'll wait for them. No
I
problem.
said walk that way, sir.
Okay. Well, you have no authority over me, so
Oh, well.
you don't.
You don't have any authority over me.
I'm not telling you which way to walk.
If you could just start stepping that way, sir.
Could you say please?
Please.
Oh, thank you. All right, no problem. I'll wait for law enforcement. Okay. Because none of you are law enforcement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 officers here, and none of you have law enforcement capabilities. So I don't understand you obviously don't know the law. You don't know the difference between public and private property. It's ridiculous. You don't know the difference. How is it private if it's owned by we the people? How is it private? What sign?
Once you come up on this property,
No, once you enter in the secure property.
Sir, you're subject to search and seizure.
So search me. Go ahead. You can't, right? That's what I thought.
Search and seizure.
All right. That's what I thought. All right, let's wait for law enforcement over here because these guys are, this duty officer over here, he's escalating the situation to a point with all those guns over there, lack of training. I'm not trying to have my rights violated. We'll wait for law enforcement right here. I just want to make it clear, secure area, publicly accessible area. There goes the street. I just walked down here. There was not any issues until they made an issue. Everything I'm seeing from right here, I can see from the public street. It makes absolutely no sense. I'm not escalating the situation. I'm trying to de-escalate by walking away. And look at these guys, they just keep following me. Just want to make it very clear, all publicly accessible. Right here. This duty officer here, bad attitude. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the security officers here, as well as the duty officer, are leaving. They were just hanging out over here next to me. But it looks like they're all leaving now. I really don't understand what the issue was, taking pictures and video in public. We're gonna wait for law enforcement for a little while longer. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so the Fairfax County Police have arrived. Hey sir, how are you? I'm doing well, sir, thank you for asking. So I was just taking some pictures and video in the publicly accessible areas. You know, they had said that this was private property, and I asked them who owned the property, and they said the United States government. So I was like, well, then it's taxpayer funded property. I want to make it clear, officer. You mind if I get your name and badge number first?
Mike Reininger, 337-306.
Thank you, officer.
Yep.
My name is Sean. I wanted to make it clear. I never wanted to go, never did, or my intentions were never to go into any restricted areas that are fenced off. There are signs that say if you enter into the facility, that's not my intention, man. That I'm just letting you know.
People run down here all the time.
Right.
I run down here.
Right. Hey, sir, how are you? You mind if I get your name and badge number?
Yeah, Officer Solomon, 372-729.
Hey, officer. My name is Sean.
You're just
Yeah, I'm just taking some pictures of the facility here from the publicly accessible areas.
no restrictions on that at all. So when you get people standing up there, you know, videoing. If you can see it from the road, it's in the public domain.
Right.
You're not
Right.
restricted from taking. I mean, I understand their concern. Who's that guy? What's he doing?
Right. And I told them, I said, hey, you know, my name is Sean. I'm an independent journalist. Yeah, actually, one of the employees actually is a subscriber of mine, and he watches my video. He came out and he said, hey, this guy, he works with police departments. He does de-escalation training with police departments. You know, I'm not anti-law enforcement in any way. I'm pro-constitution. I'm pro our rights, and I'm pro-transparency. So that's basically it. You know, I'm not engaging in any nefarious criminal activity.
So what's your YouTube channel?
Sure.
I see a lot of those videos.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, no problem. It's Long Island Audit.
Oh, okay, yes.
Long Island Audit, yeah. My name is Sean. Yeah. So, like I said, and if you watch my videos, you know I'm not anti-law enforcement in any way. You know, I just want to promote transparency and accountability within our government and film whatever I can see from public, you know?
Used to get a lot of people sit up on the airline, what is it, Air and Space Museum Parkway, and they would video the airplanes flying over.
Right.
And I don't know, people would...
You got a lot of calls?
Yeah, people would call about that, and I'm like, if there's an airplane in the sky, how are you going to restrict people from filming it?
Right.
And the N numbers on the back of there, you know what? People. There's like a group that they keep track of what planes.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of
they do.
esoteric hobby, but
Right.
You know, whatever.
But it's a free country. You can have whatever hobbies you want. You know, as long as you're not hurting anyone, you're not making any victims, damaging property.
Nope.
It's, you know,
So
I don't keep
in the public area.
Right.
You don't have any expectation of privacy. So
Right.
these people here, you know, if I wanted to take their picture.
Right.
I could take their picture.
Right. I mean, you take people's pictures all the time with that body camera. Right. Exactly. And the government always has, I'm sure there's a bunch of cameras around here recording me right now. So, right above your head. Right, exactly.
Jason Bourne, he's probably the bushes.
Yeah. Yeah, I was curious. You know, I've never, the National Reconnaissance Office, you know, I did a little research before I showed up here. And I was just curious about what they do here, things of that nature. And, you know, the security officers, I was like, you know, why isn't there federal law enforcement? I guess my guess is it might be cheaper than to hire, like, those are private security officers. That's what they...
Private security, I think, that does, like, checks the people going in.
Right.
But then inside, they've got their own security.
Okay. Oh, okay, gotcha, yeah. So I was wondering, because they were like, yeah, we don't work, we're a private security company.
Whether it's, you know, NRO police, I have no idea.
Right.
Yeah, they got their own security. So
Gotcha.
what do they do? I have no idea.
Right.
They're not going to tell you what they do.
Right.
You go to the CIA and say, what do you do?
Right, exactly.
Can't tell you.
No, I Googled it, and they have a website where they say that, you know, they monitor, you know, mass destruction threats through global satellites, all types of things, though.
I'm sure it's all like satellite.
Yeah, it's all,
images.
yeah.
I mean,
You know.
you can't get the weather right.
Right.
10 days in advance, but-
Right, they could do all that. They could see, you know, they could see me at my house, in my bathroom. put the satellite on there. That's why I always tell people, I'm like, Big Brother's watching you. Because some people, they're like, what are you doing recording in public? And I'm like, there's cameras everywhere, man. The government's always watching you. I don't have any nefarious purposes. The government, if you look at Edward Snowden and what he brought about, maybe they do have nefarious purposes. I don't know. But
well, I got my own opinion about him.
Right.
If you expose something that's illegal,
right,
that's illegal.
Right.
Regardless of who's doing it.
Right.
It's illegal.
Right.
It's you're violating the Constitution while
right.
you're wearing a. I don't agree with that.
Right.
But
right.
You know what?
I don't think any good American that believes in freedom, believes in our Constitution would whether it's there's a Benjamin Franklin quote that I love. It says, "Those who give up their security for the illusion of those who give up their freedom, those who give up their freedom for the illusion of safety and security deserve neither." Yeah. So, the government will always tell you it's for our safety, it's for your security, for your safety. But again, where do you draw the line? And you don't deserve either, according to Benjamin Franklin. I love that. It's one of my favorite quotes.
I agree.
Yeah,
it's
we're the government. We're here to help, right? And I know you guys are part of that government, but you guys have been nothing but cordial with me, so I appreciate that. I don't like to get into conversation, huh?
Is that good? I mean, you have a lot of subscribers. I'm not familiar with it.
Yeah, I have a few. I think we just crossed 800,000 on YouTube. We have about 400,000 on TikTok, another 360,000 on Facebook. So we get probably tens of millions of views every single month. And it's people that are interested in watching what's going on in the government. I always say in the beginning of my videos, if you've seen it, I'm here to peacefully exercise my rights to ensure that and to find out whether the government's going to recognize those rights and treat us with respect. Because a lot of times it's not only about recognizing our rights and upholding your oath, it's about treating people with respect. You go to a DMV office and you get treated so disgustingly and they don't want to help you, but you go to Walmart, right? Or you go to a private business and it's like, hey sir, can I help you find anything? Can I help you with anything? Like the government.
The DMV's gotten a lot better.
Right.
It's a lot better than it was in the last 10 years.
Right.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I think the world knows what I'm talking about. We've all dealt with the DMV and what they do and how they operate. But again, just have some pride. When I call people public servants, there are some out there, some of the brainwashed sheep out there who be like, oh, how dare you call them your servants? And public servant is not a derogatory term. It is an honorable job to have. You are serving the public. You are doing something that for the greater public good. At least that's what you're supposed to be doing. And I respect all public servants. I have family members that are public servants, and they say, I have no problem being called a public servant. That's what I am. I mean, I'm here to serve the public. Right, exactly. It's all about perspective. It's all about perspective.
I agree.
Yeah.
Go where you're allowed to go.
Right.
I mean, and you should not be. I think what happens is, and I've seen this happen. I don't know if it was your channel or other people's channel, where I think somebody was videotaping a police station, and somebody got into it with them, but the guy's supervisor came out and said, "Go back in service. He's free to video the police."
Right. I don't know if there's probably a bunch of times that happens, but that actually happened to me one time. I was approached by two officers in a parking lot. It was in Newburgh, New York, and I was in the police parking lot, not in a restricted area, but two guys came out that said, "You can't be here." Very aggressive, very rude. I was like, "Do you give me your ID?" And I said, "Do you have reasonable articulable suspicion I've committed a crime?" And he's like, "What is that? I don't know what that is." And I was like, "You don't know what reasonable articulable suspicion is?" And he was like, "No, we don't use that here." I'm like, I'm sure you do. And then you're right. The sergeant came out and he was like, "You know what? You guys are good to go." And he dismissed his officers and he was like, "You guys, because they were going back and forth with me."
Some training. And
they need training. And that's why, I've been, I've had the opportunity, as you've seen, I've had the opportunity to do trainings with police departments, which, a First Amendment auditor working directly with the police to help promote transparency and the First Amendment, that's never been done before. So I was very proud to be, a part of that because, at the end of the day, police aren't going anywhere. We need law and order in our country. Right? We need law and order. So it's just, let's do it in a better way where people's rights are respected, de-escalate situation. One of my good friends, he's a detective in Illinois, Matt Thornton. He actually has, social media pages and stuff like that where he calls out, bad police behavior. And he told me, I went to a training and they said, list the top 5 things it takes to be a police officer. And his number 1, he put compassion. And the instructor laughed at him, brought him in front of the class and laughed at him and ridiculed him for saying compassion. And that's the mentality. It's that's the mentality that I'm trying to help fix. Hey, he was right. Compassion. These are your fellow human beings, your fellow Americans. You have a job to do, but at the end of the day, your number 1 job is to uphold people's rights.
And quite often, I'll say in this job, you are seeing or meeting people on maybe the worst day of their life.
Right. Right.
So they've got, maybe if somebody's in an accident that's very traumatic.
Right.
You've been in I've been in a lot of accidents, but if it's your first one that you've ever been involved in, it is
Right.
traumatic. You might be a high school student.
Right.
First, you got rear-ended.
Right.
Nobody's hurt. The car's a little dented, but it is traumatic. But you might be meeting somebody on the worst day of their life, and compassion is very important.
Right.
You gotta.
And de-escalation, it helps you. We all want everybody to go home safe at the end of the day, and I don't know what you're capable of. You don't know what I'm capable of. There's been officers who have come up to me and grabbed my phone, throw it to the ground, break it, grab me, say I'm not the one, and assault me. And the Internal Affairs says, well, he grabbed your phone because he thought it was a firearm. Just like this, same phone. He thought it was a firearm. And
Daylight?
In daylight, yeah, daylight.
Okay.
He's like, he grabbed your phone because he thought it was a firearm, and he grabbed your shirt to prevent you from falling backwards. Okay. And when I expose things like that, it's so hard because there's good officers right out there that are trying to do the right thing, but then now the people see not only did that bad behavior happen, that criminal behavior happen by a sergeant of a law enforcement agency, but it's covered up by the Internal Affairs that they think that we the people are stupid. It's like, he didn't think it was a firearm. It's clear from the video he didn't think it was a firearm.
Never double down on a mistake.
Right, exactly. And that's what they did, and it just makes it worse. I need to be their publicist because I'm like, hey, listen, he shouldn't have done that. We're going to handle it. We're going to do some internal training. If he broke the law, we'll prosecute him to the fullest extent of the law, just like we would anybody else. The public image is important for law enforcement officers because, you guys get highlighted a lot for bad things, but good things as well,
Okay.
I think I got all my pictures today, though. It was nice talking to you guys.
The most boring looking.
Right, very boring. Yeah, very boring.
Just an interesting piece of trivia. When they built this place,
Right.
they actually tried to hide the fact that it was the NRO, and they sold it as Rockwell Corporation.
Wow.
So I don't know if Rockwell built the B-1 bomber.
Okay.
They were one of the primary contractors.
So they sold it.
Well, then they didn't pay their taxes to the county because Sorry, they did pay their taxes to the county under Rockwell. But then when it came out, no, this is really the NRO, they wanted a refund of the taxes they paid.
Oh, of course they did.
Because you're never going to hide a secret that big.
Right.
So just put the sign up of what it is.
Right. I mean, they're not hiding it now. Right. Yeah.
Just put your sign up.
Yeah, they're not hiding it. I mean, there's plenty of security here that no one's gonna get at 10 feet inside of there without people swarming them. There was about 20 20 security guards. Yeah, man, 20 security guards came out with ARs, and I'm like, just got a camera, man. So it's yeah. I'm like, it's just a camera. I'm not in any restricted areas, and it escalated from there. But I'm glad that you guys.
Yeah, all good.
I'm glad that you guys, respected my rights here today, and we didn't, I don't like it when things escalate. I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to, I want to just peacefully exercise my right as an American. So yeah, you're right. It is a boring building.
You're on public property.
Right.
You can sit here record.
Right.
You already know that. We know that. Not everyone, unfortunately, knows.
Right. And hopefully more and more of these videos, people will become more and more aware, and we can just have positive encounters, and hopefully bridge the gap between law enforcement and the public.
Exactly.
Well, it was nice meeting you guys.
Hey, good meeting you. Sean?
Nice meeting you, Sean. Yes. Nice meeting you.
So one thing, I know you usually don't give it, but it's not required.
Right.
Last name. I know
Right.
you usually don't.
I mean, I'm not going to give it, but you know who I am. It's
Okay.
you literally
I
could
got
just
you. All right.
you could just Google it.
Okay.
You know who I am. But just put Sean Good Citizen if you want, whatever you want.
Your last name, am I going to get some Taylor Swift tickets or anything?
No, I'm not that famous. I'm not that famous. Take care. All right, you too, guys. Stay safe out there, right?
In this situation, it is clear that most of the initial tension stemmed from a misunderstanding of the right to film in public. The armed security personnel quickly assumed that the cameraman was trespassing on private property and demanded that he produce identification, even though they were not law enforcement officers and could not provide any clear legal basis for that demand. Under the First Amendment of the United States Constitution, citizens have the right to record and gather information in public places or in areas that are publicly accessible, as long as they are not interfering with lawful government operations or entering restricted areas. This right has been recognized by federal courts in several cases, including Glick versus Cuniff, where the court affirmed that citizens have the right to record government officials performing their duties in public. Similarly, in Turner versus Driver, the court confirmed that recording police officers in public is a First Amendment protected activity. In this video, the journalist was standing in a publicly accessible area outside the secured fence line where there were no clear signs restricting public access. That means, from a legal standpoint, his filming did not constitute trespassing. Furthermore, demanding identification generally requires reasonable suspicion that a crime has been committed, is being committed, or is about to be committed. This standard was established in the landmark case Terry versus Ohio. Simply holding a camera and filming in a public place does not create reasonable suspicion of a crime. When officers from the Fairfax County Police Department arrived on the scene, they calmly assessed the situation and confirmed that the journalist was standing in a public area and was not breaking the law. Their response helped de-escalate the situation and demonstrated a professional and lawful approach to resolving the encounter. In conclusion, the journalist in this case was exercising his lawful First Amendment rights. While some of the security personnel initially misunderstood the difference between public property and restricted property, as well as the public's right to record, the involvement of local law enforcement ultimately clarified the situation and reinforced that constitutional rights remain protected when properly understood and applied. Situations like this highlight the importance of legal education and training, not only for citizens but also for security personnel and public officials. When both sides understand their rights and responsibilities, encounters like this can remain calm, respectful, and consistent with the principles of the Constitution. But now we want to hear from you. Do you think the armed security officers were simply doing their job? Or did they overstep their authority by demanding identification from someone who was clearly filming in a publicly accessible area? And what are your thoughts about how the officers from the Fairfax County Police Department handled the situation when they arrived? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. We read the comments, and your perspective helps keep these important conversations about constitutional rights and government accountability going. If you found this breakdown informative, make sure to like the video, share it with someone who believes in the Constitution, and subscribe for more real-world analyses of police and citizen encounters. As always, stay safe, stay